So Bernard Hopkins gave his reaction to Ryan Garcia knocking out Oscar Duarte, where he stated on his Instagram story, quote, "I'm proud of Ryan Garcia." End of the quote. Listen, regardless of what happened between Hopkins, Ryan, and Oscar De La Hoya, it was a foul thing for Hopkins to say that after this fight, he's going to decide if Ryan should retire or continue boxing. I mean, come on now. Hopkins fought till he was 50 years old. Literally, I'm not exaggerating. That's why when Ryan was taking shots at Hopkins getting knocked out of the ring by Smith, Hopkins was already 50 years old. So if Hopkins fought at a championship level till he was 50 years old, he knows better than anyone. Nobody can tell a fighter when to stop, but God and the fighter himself. More importantly, this whole beef is kind of confusing because when Hopkins responded to Ryan before the Oscar Duarte fight, Hopkins said that he's going to promote a fight. However, he's not going to promote a lie. But what really caught my attention is when Hopkins said, "It sounds like Ryan was down with the whole shebang." Check it out.
We're not in business kissing fighters' ass to tell them they're something that they're not. Now, I will promote a fight, but I would not promote a lie. They got to go back to the videos that were said earlier. And then I was patient to wait and then send out the videos and say, this is a lie.
Yeah.
Oh, you're worthy. Oh, y'all got blocked from coming there. It comes a point where you think that maybe he was down with the whole shebang. So when things happen oddly or strange, normally it ain't strange. It's just so blunt and so in your face.
At the end of the day, depending on what Hopkins is referring to, because he could be talking about anything. As far as I know, promoters are supposed to be professional liars. That's their job. That's what they get paid to do, basically, because they're going to sell you gold, even if it's not gold. However, they're going to convince you that you buying 24 karat gold. Therefore, if Ryan is the golden ticket or not, it doesn't matter. Hopkins, Oscar, and Golden Boy needs to promote him as such. On the other hand, if Hopkins is referring to Ryan being down with the whole shebang, as in Ryan betrayed his own team, Golden Boy, by keeping them in the dark, and he put the Mayweather team, the enemy team, in the light. Hopkins was talking about how things were strange and odd, and perhaps it wasn't strange nor odd. Now, when Hopkins be speaking in code, you really don't know what he's talking about exactly. But then when you hear Ryan say he suffered an injury 2 weeks before the Gervonta fight to the point where he had to go to the hospital. However, he still decided to go through with the fight. Is this what Hopkins is talking about when he says, I will promote a fight, but I wouldn't promote a lie? Is this what Hopkins is referring to when he says that Ryan was down with the whole shebang? That's the $1 million question. If so, is Hopkins basically saying that Ryan Garcia lied about the injury, or is Hopkins saying that why would Ryan fight Gervonta with an injury against his own team will, then after the fight get mad at his own team? When Ryan knew that Hopkins couldn't attend the post-fight press conference, at least Hopkins had his excuse, just like Ryan had excuses for losing to Gervonta. There's a lot of questions unanswered, so I'm gonna talk about it at the end of this video and perhaps even on another video. For the meantime, Oscar De La Hoya came out giving his reaction to Ryan Garcia knocking out Oscar Duarte, where he said, quote, "Good win from Ryan Garcia, on to the next. Looking forward to working with him in the years to come." Check it out.
I haven't even thought about it. We'll have to go back to the drawing board. We'll figure out the plan as his promoter for many years to come. We'll figure it out and figure out a plan, and then we'll go back to the drawing board. That's it.
Oscar De La Hoya also revealed that it was Ryan himself who actually picked Oscar Duarte to fight. Additionally, Oscar De La Hoya said that he's looking forward to working with Ryan Garcia for the years to come, which that was a little surprising to me. I don't know how many years Ryan has left under his contract with Golden Boy, but the way Ryan was going off on Golden Boy and Oscar before the fight, he made it sound like this was the last fight he has with them. Here is why. Ryan said things like, they rooting against me. They think or they backing Oscar Duarte to beat me just like they did with Duno.
Man, a couple things that I want to touch. You know, one thing that's been on my heart is the statements that Bernard made, where he'll decide if I'm going to finish or if I should continue boxing after this fight. He don't decide that. My coach does, my team does, everybody that, you know, grinds with me day in and day out, that's who decides, and ultimately God decides, not him. Nobody was telling him when to stop boxing. You know, he stopped boxing at 145, so kudos to him. But he don't determine that. And another thing I want to touch on is, you know, Oscar saying that, you know, we misinterpret, you know, what they say. It's plain English. I didn't hear anybody speaking any language I don't know. So, you know, it's very clear to me that, you know, they're backing this guy to beat me just like they thought Duno was going to beat me. He was the next Filipino star. They say he's the next Mexican star. You know, he calls out on the bullshit, the lies. Man, last time I checked, he said he never lose to a white boy, and then Joe Smith Jr. knocked him out of the ring. Last time I checked, Joe Smith Jr. was white. So, you know, they be lying. So at the end of the day, you know, I'll come to show what I bring, and I'm laser focused. That's where this confidence comes from. Thank God for everything, and all praise to the Most High.
Now, for Ryan to say that sounds crazy if this wasn't his last fight with Golden Boy. Because why would Oscar and Golden Boy root against Ryan if that's their money ticket? I mean, they don't have to like Ryan. They could hate him as far as I know. But at the end of the day, we all know they love money. Well, guess what? If they love money, they gotta indirectly or directly love Ryan. They have to root for him by force, not by choice, because Ryan brings all of the money. Why will they be rooting against Ryan if this is not Ryan's last fight with them? Because if Oscar Duarte would have had won, guess what? There isn't future money fights with him like it is with Ryan. Therefore, it makes no sense at all for Ryan to believe that Golden Boy, Hopkins, and Oscar De La Hoya was rooting against him if this is not his last fight with them, because they stand to make a whole lot of money if they do make Ryan versus Teofimo Lopez, Ryan versus Devin Haney, Ryan versus Gervonta rematch, Ryan versus Shakur, or even Ryan versus Rolly. They can make a whole lot of money in that fight alone. One thing for sure, Golden Boy, nobody on Golden Boy is rooting against their own pockets. Two things for certain, Hopkins nor Oscar can't afford to lose their golden ticket right now, especially if he's still signed to them. Why would they want to see him lose if that means they gonna lose millions of dollars going to their pockets? That's why it made no sense whatsoever for Ryan to believe they were rooting against him, unless this was actually his last fight. However, according to Oscar De La Hoya, it's not. Furthermore, Ryan has all of the right in the world to be mad at Oscar and Hopkins for not showing up to the post-fight press conference when he lost to Tank. But when it comes to Ryan claiming that he had a rib injury 2 weeks before the Gervonta fight, and him claiming that he accepted the rehydration clause against his own team will. If Ryan did all of that according to him, to the point where he got injured, his team knew about it. However, he refused to pull out. At that point, why would Ryan be upset at Oscar De La Hoya and Hopkins? Because they have all of the right to be mad at Ryan Garcia for putting himself at a disadvantage. Of course, Hopkins and Oscar De La Hoya are going to be mad at that point. I mean, just put yourself in Oscar De La Hoya and Hopkins' position. If you have a fighter who is your golden ticket, your money ticket, right? He got injured 2 weeks before his biggest fight, to the point where he had to go to the hospital. He suffered a rib injury, supposedly. Wouldn't you be mad if your fighter doesn't pull out of the fight in order to postpone the fight? Better yet, you advised him against it. However, he went against your will in order to continue on with the fight. Wouldn't you be mad at him at that point if he loses to that opponent and not show up to the post-fight press conference? This is what Ryan Garcia did, according to him. So, of course, Oscar and Hopkins gonna be mad at him at that point, unless he lied about something. Unless he lied about getting injured to the point where he had to go to the hospital. Because if he really did, and he didn't lie about it, well, guess what? Ryan is leaving himself open for a lot of lawsuits going his way, and I'm here to warn him. Apparently, Ryan haven't got the memo. This is what happened to Pacquiao when he claimed an injury against Floyd Mayweather. He started receiving a lot of lawsuits stating that, listen, we lost a lot of money betting on this fight. Just to find out you was injured coming into the fight and you knew about it, you should have told the public, because you made us lose money on you. Man, you have people betting their house on a fight, and you gonna claim you was injured coming into a fight without letting the public know? Ryan better stop making excuses, because soon them excuses gonna turn to lawsuits, and that's the last thing he wants. I told you guys, when Pacquiao claimed an injury after he lost to Floyd, he ended up receiving lawsuits. That's why he changed his story from being injured before the fight to being injured during the fight. Pacquiao team changed the story quickly that Pacquiao suffered an injury during the fight in order to avoid the lawsuits. So trust me, Ryan does not want them problems, or that $30 million he made is going to be gone real quick. Therefore, I don't know what to make of Ryan beef with Golden Boy, Oscar, and Hopkins, because to me it sounds more like a miscommunication issue. Nevertheless, one thing in common between Ryan and Oscar is that they cannot do the shoulder roll, and Ryan needs to leave that alone. I don't know what he was doing in there trying to do the shoulder roll. He needs to stop. Oscar Duarte even managed to hurt him during the fight in the 6th round. Due to that, what Ryan needs to do is drill how to fight in the pocket or tie up. One of the two, perhaps even both. With that being said, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe below, and to be continued on the next episode of Akhi TV. Peace out. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.